everybody. Welcome to another episode of the great and minor major players on the music scene, Nick and Narf. Welcome.
That's Frank, really. We wrote Narf backwards because Frank, being the poet, is always trying to come up with something creative.
I'm a marketing guy. What do you want?
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
not doing a very good job because our ratings suck. No, we have a great group of followers, and we thank you guys for being here to join our show again. Another wonderful show we hope that you're really going to enjoy. Today we're doing a great band from the 60s that started out slowly and never really had the reputation that they maybe deserved. It's a group called Love.
Love. They're from L.A., which, of course, you know, our allegiance is always to bands, teams from L.A. Go Dodgers. And,
And
we just want to share that with you. I know many of you have probably heard them. I don't know how much in depth you got into Love at all. This is a shout out to my buddy KC in See Me. So, guy I turned on to, Kailito, turned him on to Love, and he really likes him.
Well, I got to tell you about Love. I mean, they're led by the great Arthur Lee, who is the heart and soul and creative spirit of the band. One of the first racially diverse bands, too. Arthur Lee, black lead singer for a rock band, which was kind of unheard of. They formed in 1965, and their first album was self-titled Love, and their big hit from it was called Little Red Book. It gave them a little bit of notoriety, and I got to tell you this. Some of you know I was in a rock and roll band in my teens, from like 1965 to 1967, 3 years with some of my grade school mates who became high school classmates. And we had that first Love album, and we played 3 or 4 songs because they were some of the simplest songs to play.
Now, before you guys go off and say, well, gee, everybody was in a garage band, Frank was in a battle of the bands against a group called the Knack.
Which was the real Knack. Yes, they went to a high school, I believe, called Cathedral, which was another Catholic high school down the road in L.A. But yeah, we did. We went to a lot of Battle of the Bands. We played at parties. We played stuff. Anyway, but to get back to it, Love was one of our staples. We probably knew about half a dozen of their songs because they were 3-chord songs, 4-chord songs, real simple. But then their next following couple of albums really got more complex and really changed. And the 2 songs we're going to play for you are off of the second and third albums, respectively. The second album is this one you see over my shoulder called Da Capo. And the big hit from that album was one of maybe their biggest hit that made any kind of a mark. It was a song called 7 and 7 Is, which was one of the songs we played by Love, by the way. Anyway, it's a great, great song, but it's not the one we're playing. We're playing a really nice psychedelic 60s Love flower power song called Orange Skies. It's a really beautiful song.
It is a pretty song.
And the second one we're going to be playing is off of their third album from 1967 called Forever Changes, which at the time was not considered much of an album. It was kind of eclectic. It was kind of progressive in some of the music that they did. And it was only in the last 10 to 15 years where this album has risen in stature to cult status. As a matter of fact, Forever Changes is now on the Rolling Stone top 500 albums of all time. It's ranked number 180. So it shows you some of the regard that this album is held in. But anyway, so 2 great songs from 2 different albums by a band that deserves a lot more attention. If you get a chance to listen to the catalog of Love, go back and hear it. It's a very brief catalog. They only had about 7 albums.
7 albums, but, you know, 7 is pretty damn good. I mean, you know, I was in the music industry for a while. I'd have loved to have even 1 album, but
That's right.
7 is.
But these first
good.
3 are the ones that really got them going and were really like the meat and the heart of who Love was really about, because they went through a number of personnel changes. But the unifying force was the lead singer, the creative, great artist, Arthur Lee. So let's hear Love from 1966's album Da Capo, the song Orange Skies. So take out that incense, start it burning, and let's start listening. Here we go.
Skies, carnivals and cotton candy, and you, and I love you too, you know I do. nightingale, prettier than anything in the world. And I love you too, you know I do.
Like this chorus here.
Yeah, you make me happy, laughing, glad, and full of glee. And you don't have to try, girl. For you, it comes so naturally, like you're in my arms.
So pretty.
Orange skies, carnivals in cotton candy, and you, and I love you too, you know I do. Yeah, you make me happy, laughing, glad, and full of glee. And you don't have to try, girl. For you, it comes so naturally, like you're in my arms. Fire.
So nice. Okay, so tell me, where are you going to hear a song that uses the word glee?
That's right.
Glee. We don't use that word much anymore, do we?
No, we don't. There's a lot of words we don't use, and we should use a lot more, like glee and lovely.
Yeah. And like green stamps.
But boy,
I mean, you know.
I'll tell you, that album brings back, that song brings back
That's
so
a
many
beautiful
memories.
song.
It really
Very
captures,
pretty.
it captures that scene in L.A. You know, they used to have love-ins like every Sunday in Griffith Park,
yeah.
right up in Hollywood there, where it was just impromptu. And the word would go around. I don't know, there was like this underground network of communication saying, oh man, there's a lovin' going to be over. Where's it going to be this time? Is it going to be over by the zoo, or is it going to be over in Ferndale, or is it going to be over there?
So
These are
from the Glendale side of Griffith Park, you could hike up and then you'd look down on, the merry-go-rounds were like to the, I guess, the west.
got the merry-go-round. That's right.
And then you could just see this massive amount of people, probably 30,000 people that were sitting there listening to different bands that would show up.
They were free, so people would just show up. They just take a
Right.
slop, lay down a blanket, light up a doob, bring a little bottle of vino, or just hang for an afternoon dancing. I mean, it was the essential feeling of the 60s. And this band was one of those bands that brought out that emotion and that feeling of flower power and love and peace and joy. It was wonderful.
And let's be honest, when you think of sunsets, you don't think of necessarily orange.
No.
You think of, reds and, but orange sky. And it is a beautiful picture that he
It's a
paints.
lovely, lovely song, though. Really nice. What did you think of Love and the song Orange Skies?
Are you full of glee? I'm full of glee right now.
Yeah, I'm full of something, and Glee's a part of it. But anyway, we hope you liked it. Tell us what you think by leaving us a comment. If you're liking it, subscribe, like, and share. Now, the next song we're going to bring after our intermission is that song I was telling you about. It's off of this great album, Forever Changes. Again, forgotten in its own time, but brought back to life, and now one of the greatest albums of the top 500s of all time, according to Rolling Stone. And you're going to enjoy the song we're going to play for you. I'll tell you about it when we come back, okay?
Leave me alone.
Okay. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hope you got a chance to get yourself some cotton candy over there at the snack bar. Anyway, we're ready to do our second submission to you for your consideration from the wonderful band Love from 1967's album Forever Changes. Again, one in its day was not very highly regarded. I mean, that album didn't even make the top 200 or something back then. But over time, it has grown as a huge cult favorite. And like I said, now it's ranked number 180 on the top 500 albums of all time, according to Rolling Stone. And this song may be the signature song from the album.
And Frank's group did do this song too. He spoke about the fact that they group the Outcasts. They
started the Outcasts, then we changed our name to The Management.
Yeah. But they did this song and they did a really good job with it.
Well, thanks, not Nick. We appreciate that coming from the master musician himself, Nick.
Thank you so much.
So anyway, here it is. 1967, it's Love with Alone Again or
Yeah, said it's alright. I won't forget all the times I've waited patiently for you. And you'll do just what you choose to do. And I will be alone again tonight, my dear. I heard a funny thing. Somebody said to me, you know that I could be in love with almost everyone. I think that people are the greatest fun. And I will be alone again tonight, my dear.
This trumpet solo in the middle of the song is so cool. Don't expect it at all either. Right here. Great song.
I heard a funny thing. Somebody said to me, you know that I could be in love with almost everyone. I think that people are the greatest one. And I will be alone again tonight, my dear.
Wow. If you heard the first Love album and heard this one, you'd say, who the hell? Is this the same band?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a total 180-degree metamorphosis. The complexity and the richness of the songs on Forever Changes compared to that first album is really striking.
And what struck me about this one too is the influence of obviously Spanish or Mexican heritage coming in there. And again, we spoke about the fact that he's black, but he grew up in LA, and we were all affected by mariachi bands and you know, just May 5th, which just happens to be my birthday, Cinco de Mayo, when everybody would get out and just party.
Well, what's amazing is that, you know, you realize this album really probably was ahead of its time. If it had come out a decade later, it would probably have been hailed right out of the chute. But because it came out in the mid 60s, it kind of just got lost with everything in the noise of the great bands. Jefferson Airplane was rising, the Byrds, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper was coming out. I mean, just the Doors.
And I had
the
no
Doors
idea.
showed up.
I had no idea that Herb Alpert played with Love in the middle part with that horn. But I mean, it did. It just seemed to be really. Who would have expected that to be the lead part of this song?
Oh, it's just an amazing song. And you know what? I did see him. Alvin Lee died in 2006, unfortunately, at the young age of 61. I did catch a show of Live with Jules Holland. If you've ever seen that, it's a PBS music show. Jules Holland used to be in the band Squeeze, and he has this music show debuting all this great music. And Arthur Lee was there with a backup band, and they did this song, Alone Again, and it was just magnetic. It was hypnotic, so great. And another thing to check out on YouTube, there's a band from Tucson called Calexico. And they have a video doing Alone Again, or you gotta check it out. It is fantastic. But the original is the one that started it off. It's a great, great song off of an album that was ignored far too long and a band that was ignored far too long. And it's now finally, unfortunately, decades after their inception, are finally getting their due in the music history books. But what did you think of Alone Again or on Forever Changes? What did you think of Orange Skies? Check out the Love catalog, especially those first 3-4 albums, because it's really special. And
I mean, when these guys came out, man, they were kind of hard and they were kind of rough around the edges. But then you can just see the sensitivity. The last two songs that we heard, both fantastic.
Give them a listen when you get a chance. It's really worth your time. But again, we want to thank you for being here again today with us on another episode of Nick and Narf. Again, we try to bring these album gems that sometimes are forgotten or deep cuts that you never heard, just to make you realize that, my God, if you do a little exploring, there's some wonderful music buried throughout the history of rock and roll if you just know where to look. And we try to bring that forward to you.
And all I can say is we love you guys. You bring us a lot of glee. And go out and enjoy that orange sky tonight.
That's right. Have some cotton candy with a hot dog somewhere. But again, remember to subscribe, like, and share. We care for your ears. We care for you. Thanks again for being here.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye now.